What's going on, my retarded motherfuckers? If you hung out this fucking late, you know you gotta break up that fucking coffee in the morning. Fucking smack yourself around before you go to work. All right, I'll make this one. This was my best Benito story. But before I get to that, I just had to recap the insanity of the last 2 weeks. I have talked to you guys about the midget fights. A midget fight, the gang of midgets. I think about me beating the retard in the birthday party. Trust me, that one was interesting. I've covered Madcow. Madcow is like obviously a favorite one for everybody. And I'll get, you know what, I'll do a fast Madcow Benito night. That's it, and I'll end this one. But I just wanted to tell you, look, in New York City growing up, you know, life was like an adventure as a kid, and you met these retards all over the place. And it's just like, that's just the type of place it is, because this place is just wild like that. Like, it's that crazy. When I was a kid, I remember hanging out with Madonna up in the thug area of Harlem, up there with the gorillas. So, you know, strike a pose. I love that crazy bitch. She's amazing, because even though now she wants to blow up the White House and everything, whatever, but back then she was normal. She used to hang out there with the gorillas and the Puerto Ricans up there in like the polo grounds. And trust me, that was the gorilla zone. And you remember that area up there with the, forgot the name of that club. It was a fucking club. It was like a penitentiary with music. It was fucking wild. Great parties though. Anyway, let me get into Madcow and Benito. Madcow, he caught his felony. Okay, Madcow had a bunch of losing streaks. That's why he was gonna go fucking gonna fucking throw those Alka-Seltzers to the cows and fuck them up. Okay, that didn't go well. Whatever. His book was low. He comes up with this fucking idea. It was actually ingenious until the FBI came. But he had something. Let me tell you something. He was ahead of his fucking time. It's just, unfortunately, he was too fucking much of a retard, and that side of the brain just took over. He came up with an idea to basically start a company. Okay, a medical company. Now, you know there's something wrong if it's a medical company out of Brooklyn. But nonetheless, it was out of Brooklyn. He rented this giant warehouse, and he paid a lot of money to have these boxes done, the logo and everything. It looked fucking official, man. It looked like it was a real manufacturing company, like pharmaceutical lab testing, like a diagnostics test. And he started a company that for $250, they send you a kit and you spit in a cup. You put it back in with the paper and you fill out all your information, your family history. And you send it back to this address in Brooklyn, which, by the way, if you see Brooklyn and pharmaceuticals, fucking run for your life, because that's Madcow. He's back at it. So anyway, I bump into him because he was having a fucking hard time, whatever. And by then, I'm not working on the day-to-day with him anymore. I'm all over the place. And I'm like, what's going on? He says, I got something to show you in Brooklyn. And for all these people who don't understand what that means, there's some criminal shit going down. Nobody takes you to Brooklyn to see anything. So I said, fuck it, let me go. So I go then. We're going to this fucking nefarious area of fucking Red Hook. This fucking area, this is before Red Hook was trendy. Fucking Red Hook was crazy. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? Even the fucking cab driver was like, you sure is this address? I don't know. Fucking keep driving, two more drug spots down. Either way, we pull into this fucking place, open up the thing. We go to the fucking side, and on the fucking side, I see a pile of boxes, little white boxes on this side, and a pile of fucking boxes on this side. And in the middle, there's these three Indian fucks on a folding table. They're taking one box, they're looking at everything, they're writing something down, and then they're putting the boxes on the other pile. What these motherfuckers were doing, fucking Madcow found a couple of fucking on the cheap Indian doctors that had no license in America. They were doctors. They just weren't, certified to be doctors in America. They're doctors, but they have to go through the process of becoming Americanized. He had these motherfuckers in the warehouse like Guatemalans, taking these fucking kits, looking at them, reading the information that they helped build on paper. Yeah, okay, she's not gonna die of cancer. They're not fucking lab testing nothing. They're not doing anything. Like, okay, you're fine. Don't worry about your stage 3 or whatever. And they were taking the fucking paper and basically, giving it like a Sabu Nagandi MD, and all of a sudden we're wrapping it up and putting it on the side, and then we're gonna ship it out. So he explained the whole business model. He was advertising this everywhere. He had fucking old people in nursing homes fucking spitting in this fucking cup. And I just told him, what the fuck is this? So they send this to you? I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing with this with the garbage? That's like bio waste. And he's like, what the fuck? This is Brooklyn. I fucking leave it there. Somebody's gonna do something with it. So he has a fucking mountain of bio waste. Fucking people spit from everywhere from Oklahoma to Seattle. And he's sending these fucking fake lab results to people. But he's making $250 and it was costing him $25. So every box had a $25 cost, and he was basically making $225 on this stuff. So it was a cool thing. He said he cut the fucking Indians in for $16 each box. So he was making, the rent, the stuff. He had overhead. Even though he was a criminal, he had overhead. He was running it like a business. The day they came for him, I was actually going to go to the gym with somebody there in the office. Just because I had some questions, things I had to work out, whatever. These guys were my brokers either way. And when they came for him, everybody knew he was in the office. Like, they know. They monitor. But they're looking all over for fucking Madcow. They don't know where the fuck he's at. They're looking, they're this, whatever, don't hide. All of a sudden, I'm like, where's Madcow? Out of the corner of my eyes, I see him under a desk, hiding, all in this fucking position. And I think to myself, you know something? This motherfucker is the most diabolical criminal I've ever met in my life. They eventually got him and dragged him out. Fucking hilarious. He made bail and he was out. He did 6 months talking to another bunch of degenerate criminals in this camp where everybody goes to. Then they send this fucking guy up to this elementary school. It's like a work release program, so he can leave the halfway house. He can leave. He's a fucking guy's rich guy. He leaves the halfway house. He goes to a school up in the Bronx, and he's like a volunteer janitor. So he's there, and he's not fucking mopping anything. He's just moving around, smoking the cigarettes next to kids. And it's hilarious because the day that everything wrapped up for him, we actually took him from the school and obviously took him downtown, got him dressed, got him food. Fucking kids are living in, they're going to school with like fucking sewer rats because of fucking Madcow. Okay, so that was the Madcow business deal. Go back a billion years, Benito and his brother. They decided they were going to break into the 59th Street Central Park Zoo because they had a connection with a couple of pet shops. And the pet shop says, listen, whatever turtles or anything you could bring me from the zoo, I'll give you money for, because people like exotic stuff. Now these two fucking dumb Puerto Ricans, fucking frickin' frack, they decide they're going to break into a fucking zoo at night. Now, mind you, a fucking zoo at night, that's how it gets real. So they go down there, they volunteer with their cousin, Junito, this fucking guy. Junior, we call him in Spanish, Junito. Fucking guy. He looked like a fucking toothpick with jerry curls. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Cool fucking solid guy. But they get to the zoo. They're scanning how they're going to get the fuck in the zoo. They're going to go in there, grab anything. A zebra, a fucking giraffe, a gorilla. They don't give a fuck. So they go over this fucking wall. They go in there, they're looking around. And once they're in there, they have no idea that the fucking wall that they climbed over, this fucking thing had bears in the side. So these motherfuckers are fucking running and fighting the bear. The bear's going in the cage, coming back out. And the polar bear there was called Sandy. What's funny is the next day in the Daily News, they reported that somebody assaulted the polar bear. Not somebody assaulted, something happened to the polar bear. And when you saw these motherfuckers with fucking scrapes and jackets that were ripped and everything, it was like, what the fuck were you? How can you wind up in a fucking... But they didn't wind up in the polar bear. What they wound up... that space between where you stand and where the polar bear is at, where he can reach you and fuck you up? That fucking bear was fucking them up. They were punching that fucking bear. They were fucking probably biting his fucking ear. Oh my God. I just know that was known as the zoo job. These motherfuckers actually went toe-to-toe with Sandy the polar bear in the 59th Street Zoo. And Sandy was an evil bitch. She actually killed somebody. Some crazy tourist that decided, I want to be one with Sandy and swim in her pool. Let me tell you something. Benito, Mad Mike, and Junito, those fucking three retards can say they fought a polar bear. And to me, I fucking hung with them in any day. But because if you fight a polar bear, that's the kind of motherfuckers I want to roll with. So, 2 nights I gave you Madcow, Benito, Madcow. And let me tell you something. Benito and Madcow alone could be their own fucking television series. So you got them all. See, Melania? I almost went to that polar bear experience, but I'm here. I'm safe. Nothing happened to me, so you could come to me at any time. Good night, motherfuckers. We got polar bears. Real white bears. Fucking insane. Go to sleep, motherfuckers. Tomorrow we start making